Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about recursion algorithms. Under the data structures and algorithm, recursion is one of the key area. Actually here we are going to discuss about the advantages of the recursion with several examples. Before we move into the today's lesson, if you are still not subscribed this video channel, please subscribe and don't forget to click the bell icon as well. Right. Now let's see. Do you ever heard there is something called factorial? I think you heard. That's you learn in grade 7 and grade 8. See, how are we going to calculate the factorial value? Actually, factorial 1 is 1. And factorial 2 is 1 multiplied by 2. Factorial 3 is 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. And factorial 4 is 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. And factorial 5 is 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 5. Answer is 120. How about factorial n? Yes, 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 and it goes till n minus 1 multiplied by n. And also don't forget factorial 0 is 1 also. Now I want to write a Java method to calculate factorial value. I want to find factorial value using Java. Let's see. Now this is the program. Now you can see initially I have public method with return type integer and there's a parameter called n. N is the value which I want to calculate as a factorial. And then first I check the parameter value is 0. If it is 0, then obviously my program will return the factorial value as a 1. But if not, I will go to the else part and I will calculate the factorial value. You can see start from the 1 and it is always less than or equal to the parameter value, and factorial equal factorial multiplied by the value. And finally, I am calculating factorial value and I am returning the factorial value. Yes, program is perfectly work, but just try to count how many assignments, how many mathematical calculations, something like plus and multiplication, something like that, as well as how many variable declarations. So remember, if you have high variable declarations, if you have high mathematical operations, comparisons, now it gives us high complexity. The results of the high complexity, then your program performance will be really poor. Yes. Now look at this. I have to identify the pattern. Now, this is simple. Factorial 1 is 1. That's you see. But look at this. Factorial 2 is 1 multiplied by 2. That means factorial 2 means factorial 1 multiplied by factorial by 2. And factorial 3, that is, you can see 1 multiplied by 2. That is factorial 2. And again multiply by 3. Simply I can say factorial 3 equal factorial 2 multiplied by 3. How about factorial 4? Yes, 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. That is factorial 3 and it's multiplied by 4. That means factorial 4 means factorial 3 multiplied by 4. And factorial 5 is equal to factorial 4 multiplied by 5. And if you are going more detail, factorial n means factorial n minus 1 multiplied by n. That means if you want to find factorial value, that is equal to previous factorial value multiplied by n value. Now, simple method, same as previous. My method name is calculate factorial, cal factorial. And my return value is integer. And then, first I am checking if the parameter value is 0. If it is so, I am return 1. Now, if not, what is my factorial value? That means if it is a n and method purpose is calculating a factorial value, I will return n multiplied by calculate factorial n minus 1. That means it goes till continuous until n is equal to 0. And then it will be calculate factorial value. Now just look at. You have only one comparison, if statement. And you have two mathematical operations. Therefore, comparatively, previous one, you have less mathematical operations as well as less variable declaration and less complexity. Therefore, your program having very high performance. So, today's lesson we talk about recursion algorithm. As example, I took how to calculate factorial value. So, using a recursion method, it is less mathematical operations and also it is having less variable declaration as well as it is having less complexity. Therefore, using recursion, you can gain high performance. So, thank you for today and we will meet in next video. And till that, if you don't subscribe my video channel, please subscribe now and don't forget to click bell icon as well. Thank you very much. See you soon.